In a small, dusty town nestled between rolling hills and endless skies, the air hummed with the sounds of clinking glasses and lively chatter. This town, known as Silver Creek, had only one bar at its heart called the Rusty Spur. With worn wooden floors and walls decorated with old photographs, it drew in travelers from far and wide. They stopped by for a cold drink, seeking stories of adventure or simply a place to rest. The bar had a mysterious past that fascinated the townsfolk. Legends told of shooting competitions held in the back lot and whispers of outlaws who once sought shelter within its walls. Each night, reflective golden lights spilled from the windows, illuminating faces eager for tales as they inhaled the scent of spiced meat sizzling on the grill. The Rusty Spur was more than just a watering hole. It was a meeting spot where strangers became friends and friendships sparked adventures. As dusk settled over Silver Creek, weary travelers brought their excitement and stories to life, filling the bar with laughter and intrigue. Children often peered through the grimy windows, their eyes wide with curiosity at the folks inside, dreaming of what secrets lay in wait beyond the door. Little did they know that behind the bar hid something extraordinary, a secret that would soon send ripples of excitement through their otherwise quiet town. Behind the Rusty Spur, concealed by the shadows of the barn, lay a secret stable that few knew existed. Inside, there was a colt, beautiful and spirited, whose coat shone like polished mahogany. This young horse was no ordinary creature. He came from a lineage of champion racehorses, whispered about among those who had heard the old tales. His presence brought an air of magic, as if he held the promise of greatness just waiting to be uncovered. One afternoon, while exploring their surroundings, siblings Mia and Jake stumbled upon the stable. Their eyes widened in amazement as they took in the sight of the colt. They named him Blaze, enchanted by his playful energy and gentle spirit. To them, Blaze was more than just a horse. He represented hope and adventure, the kind they had only imagined in stories. As word spread among the children of Silver Creek about the hidden colt, excitement bubbled through the town like a fresh spring. Mia and Jake felt a sense of responsibility, knowing that Blaze's remarkable lineage made him special. If anyone were to discover him, the townspeople might rally to protect him or, worse yet, seek to claim him for their own. The stakes grew higher as they realized that their simple discovery might lead to a fight for survival. Not just for Blaze, but for their cherished piece of hidden magic in Silver Creek. Mia and Jake were not your ordinary siblings. They were adventurous at heart, forever seeking new discoveries in their small town of Silver Creek. Mia, the slightly older sister at 12, was brave and curious. With her long, flowing hair often tied back in a messy braid, she stood tall with confidence. She carried a notebook everywhere, jotting down notes about her surroundings or sketching whatever caught her eye. The clouds, the trees, and now, the beautiful colt they had found. Jake, just 10 years old, was her spirited partner in crime. With his bright blue cap always tilted to one side and an infectious grin that never seemed to fade, he was known for his playful antics. His boundless energy combined with Mia's determination made them an unstoppable duo. Together, they spent countless afternoons exploring every nook and cranny of Silver Creek, whether it was climbing trees or searching for buried treasures. When they stumbled upon the hidden stable behind the Rusty Spur and discovered Blaze, their hearts raced with excitement. They saw this majestic colt not just as a horse but as a chance for a grand adventure, a quest that called for bravery and resourcefulness. Fueled by their imaginations and a strong bond, Mia and Jake knew they would do everything in their power to protect Blaze from any danger that lurked in the shadows of Silver Creek. As the days passed in Silver Creek, whispers of danger began to circulate around town. The Rusty Spur, once filled with laughter and tales of adventure, now buzzed with rumors about men searching for a prized colt. These men were said to be rough and tough, with hardened faces that told stories of their own. They weren't just any horse hunters. They were known to be part of a group that chased after valuable steeds for profit. Mia and Jake overheard snippets of conversations while hiding behind barrels outside the bar, their hearts racing with concern. "I heard they're willing to pay a fortune for a horse from good bloodlines," one man said, his voice low and conspiratorial. Another added, "They don't care how they get it. They'll fight anyone who stands in their way. The siblings exchanged worried glances, realizing the gravity of the situation. Blaze was not only special to them but also caught the eye of those who could see only his worth. This new threat loomed like a dark cloud over their secret. Who were these men? What would they do if they found Blaze? Mia and Jake felt a surge of determination. They had to protect their newfound friend at all costs, even if it meant facing off against dangerous strangers intent on taking him away. The stakes had never been higher, and their adventure was just beginning. The stable behind the rusty spur had been forgotten by most townsfolk, its wooden beams weathered and worn, yet it held treasures that sparkled in the dusty light. As Mia and Jake ventured deeper into this hidden space, they were greeted by the scent of hay mixed with age, an aroma steeped in stories. The air was thick with a sense of mystery, as if the barn itself was alive with secrets waiting to be uncovered. Scattered about were old saddles adorned with intricate designs, their leather faded but still rich with history. Each saddle told its own tale of the riders who had used them, echoing adventures long gone. They also spotted rusty tools hanging from nails on the wall, some shaped for grooming horses while others seemed meant for building fences or mending saddles. Intrigued by these artifacts, Mia couldn't help but imagine the lives that revolved around this barn many years before. As they rummaged through a dusty corner, Jake stumbled upon an ancient trunk. Inside lay yellowed papers and old photographs showing horses that once galloped through Silver Creek's fields. Among them were hints about Blaze's lineage, a famed racehorse known for his spirit and speed. These discoveries not only deepened their connection to Blaze but also ignited a flicker of hope that they could protect him from those who sought to claim him for their profit. The barn was more than just shelter. It was a bridge to the past and a beacon for their fight ahead. As Mia and Jake sat in the stable, brainstorming how to keep Blaze safe, an air of seriousness enveloped them. They knew the rumors of the men searching for their precious Colt were more than gossip. Danger was close by. With determination in their eyes, they began to formulate a plan. First, we need to make sure no one knows about Blaze, Mia suggested, tapping her chin thoughtfully. We can create distractions if anyone comes looking around here. Jake nodded eagerly, his mind racing with possibilities. What if we set up some noisy traps near the entrance, he proposed, like cans tied to string. If someone gets too close, they'll make a racket. Mia clapped her hands in excitement at the idea. It was clever and would give them time to hide Blaze somewhere safer. Next, they decided to enlist their friends from Silver Creek, those who shared their love for horses and adventure. The duo spent the next few days recruiting their classmates and explaining the situation without revealing too much about Blaze's lineage. One friend offered to keep watch from a distance while others would help set up more barriers around the barn. With teamwork at the forefront of their plan, Mia and Jake felt empowered. They were ready to protect Blaze from any threats that loomed on the horizon, transforming their fear into a united front, one where courage and resourcefulness would shine through. The tension in Silver Creek thickened like the approaching storm clouds as the men searching for Blaze finally arrived in town. Dust swirled around their horses' hooves, and the sound of heavy boots echoed on the wooden planks of the bar's porch. Mia and Jake watched from behind a nearby cluster of trees, their hearts pounding in their chests. Their eyes widened as they took in the sight of the rugged men, each wearing an air of confidence that radiated danger. Mia clutched Jake's arm tightly, her mind racing with thoughts of what could happen if these men found out about Blaze. "They look serious," she whispered, barely able to keep her voice steady. Jake nodded, his wide eyes reflecting both fear and determination. "What if they come this way?" he asked, his voice low and shaky. As the men exchanged gruff words while dismounting, Mia felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She glanced around for their friends, hoping they were keeping watch as planned. The bar, once a vibrant gathering place, now seemed ominous and foreboding with shadows creeping under every beam. In that moment, Mia and Jake realized how real the threat had become. They had to stay hidden and remain quiet, but inside them flickered a flame of bravery. They were ready to protect Blaze at all costs, their resolve strengthening even as fear coursed through their veins. As dusk settled over Silver Creek, the atmosphere grew thick with tension. Mia and Jake crouched behind a cluster of barrels, their hearts racing as they heard the men approaching the stable. The sound of heavy boots thudded ominously against the ground, and the siblings exchanged worried glances. A sense of dread washed over Mia, but she quickly pushed it aside, knowing they had to be brave. Suddenly, one of the men shouted, "I saw something move!" Panic surged through Mia as she realized they were about to be discovered. The boys from their group were nowhere in sight, and there was no back exit to escape through. Decision time had come. "Jake, we have to show ourselves," she whispered urgently, her voice trembling but firm. "It's better than hiding here while they rummage around." With a deep breath, she clasped her brother's hand. "We can protect Blaze together." As the men stepped closer, fear faded into a sense of purpose. "Hey, leave our Colt alone," Mia called out, her voice steady despite the jitters that raced through her fingers. Jake stood beside her, nodding in agreement. They might be small and inexperienced, but together they felt bigger than any threat. The men paused, eyes narrowing at the sight of the determined siblings. The confrontation began, and Mia and Jake prepared to defend what they believed was right, ready to fight for Blaze at all costs. The moment Mia and Jake confronted the men, chaos erupted in the stable. The men, taken aback by the children's bravery, growled in frustration, but the siblings stood their ground, determined to protect Blaze. Suddenly, one of the men lunged toward them, and with a swift decision, Jake shouted, "Run!" Mia grabbed Jake's hand and dashed towards the open barn door. They sprinted into the twilight, adrenaline pumping through their veins. Behind them, they could hear shouts and the pounding of hooves. Blaze had bolted in fright. Fearing for their Colt's safety, they raced towards him. As they rounded a corner, their friends from Silver Creek emerged from their hiding spots. The boys had been watching and joined in the chase, yelling for help. "This way!" one friend shouted, leading them toward a nearby field where Blaze had run. Mia's heart soared at seeing her allies rally together. The chase intensified as the men chased after them on horseback, but Mia and her friends stayed ahead. They devised quick plans on the run. One friend created a diversion by throwing rocks to confuse the horses, while another called for reinforcement from more kids in town. In a thrilling display of courage and teamwork, the children led Blaze through narrow paths and bushes, narrowly avoiding capture. Their determination shone bright against the backdrop of danger as they fought for survival. Not just for themselves, but for the precious Colt they had come to love. After the thrilling chase, the children successfully led Blaze to a safe spot in the woods until the danger passed. They formed a plan to alert the town, and with the help of their friends, they organized a meeting at the Rusty Spur. The townsfolk, inspired by Mia and Jake's bravery, rallied together to protect Blaze and ensure he would not fall into the wrong hands. In the days that followed, Silver Creek came alive with discussions about the Colt and the importance of community. Families brought blankets and food to share, while others volunteered to keep watch over the area. The bar, once just a place for travelers, transformed into a hub of unity where stories of courage and friendship were shared among neighbors. As for Blaze, he became a symbol of hope and resilience for everyone in town. They decided to create a program for local children to learn about horse care and riding, ensuring that Blaze would be loved and respected by all. Mia and Jake watched as their town changed for the better, realizing that their adventure had not only saved their Colt, but had also strengthened their family ties within Silver Creek. Reflecting on their journey, Mia turned to Jake and smiled. "We did it together," she said softly. Through their bravery, they learned that true strength lies in unity, love for family, and protecting what matters most, especially those who cannot speak for themselves. As Mia and Jake sat on the grassy hill overlooking Silver Creek, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over their town. They couldn't help but reflect on their wild adventure and everything they had learned along the way. Without saying a word, they exchanged proud smiles, recognizing how much they had grown through their experience. "I never thought we could be so brave," Mia said, her voice soft yet filled with conviction. "I used to think courage meant being fearless, but now I see it's about standing up for what you love, even when you're scared." Jake nodded, contemplating her words. And we couldn't have done it without our friends, he added. It feels great to know that when things get tough, we're not alone. Together, they gazed at Blaze grazing peacefully in the field nearby, a symbol of not just their victory, but the bond they shared with their community. The Colt would always serve as a reminder of how important family and friendship are, especially in challenging times. We did this together, Mia concluded, feeling a surge of pride swell within her. And I know we'll always keep him safe. The adventure they shared under the rusty spur would forever remain etched in their hearts. It was a story of bravery, unity, and love, one they would carry with them as they continued to grow and face whatever came next.